What's up, everybody? Joe White here on your internet radio, as always. I know I usually go live, but for this one, I wanted to go taped. Just because I didn't really feel like going live tonight for some reason. But we will be live tomorrow night on Monday for the Raw Review Show. We got a big guest coming up this week here that is not even wrestling related. It is movie/TV related. Hopefully, if I can get things ironed out with him. They all float, Georgie. I'll just say that right there. It's related to It, the 1980s or 1990 miniseries. Been watching It a lot, been listening to the audiobook. I'm getting really psyched for this movie the last 2 weeks, and I'm really excited to see it. Let me adjust this camera here. Hold on. There we go. Never mind the black marks on the wall. That's from taking this chair in and out and it scrapes. Anyway. But I'm really excited to see this. I've been watching the miniseries. I've been watching reading the audio book or listening to the audio book. I've been watching all the previews and everything. There's YouTubers out there making really good videos about this book and about the movie coming out, which is coming out this Friday. So I cannot wait for that. But let's get into some Q&A here. I asked you for your questions. A few of you did submit some. But we're going to start with Bobby Ventura. So here we go. Give me one moment here. He says, be honest, are you getting burnt out on wrestling? No, I'm not getting burnt out on wrestling. I don't think I'm even getting burnt out on WWE. Raw and SmackDown have actually been kind of good the last couple weeks since I took that very brief 2-week hiatus. It kind of put things back into perspective for me a little bit. If WWE was your company, what changes would you make to the turn things around? Oh, God. If it was my company, what changes would I make? Oh, my Lord. That right there's a whole video in it of itself. I'd fire Roman Reigns. I would tell John Cena that you're going to have a very limited schedule going forward because you're about 40 years old now, and it's time for you to start winding down, especially if you're going to start doing movies. You can't keep treating the audience like they're a damn yo-yo. As far as that World Heavyweight title, I'd get it off Brock Lesnar as soon as possible. And I would just cater more to what the fans want, the wrestling audience wants. I think I would cater to more of the indie crowd. What's drawing them to the indie scene? Well, it's everything that WWE is not doing. So I think that if you cater it a little bit more toward the indie scene, and book it a little bit like it's maybe take a step back with WWE. I think that's get back to your roots and treat it as if it's a wrestling company again and not an entertainment company. It's nothing. Vince McMahon has forgotten what the second W in WWE or even WWF means. It's wrestling. You book it like it's a wrestling promotion. I think you have to take it a step back. The second thing that I would do to make things things around is very, very simple for you. I would, from the months of probably right after Survivor Series, right up until Royal Rumble. So you're talking about probably about the month of December. I'd give my talent a month off. I wouldn't run house shows. I wouldn't do Raw. I wouldn't do SmackDown. I wouldn't do anything. I would take that month off. Same thing, case in point, to probably right around the middle of the summer or even the spring, right after WrestleMania. I would take a spring break, as it were. Call it your mid-season finale, if it were. There were a couple of years ago where WWE started touting, this is the season finale or season premiere of Monday Night Raw, and I'm like, dude, you're 52 weeks a year. You are always on a season. How can you have a season premiere if your season never ends? So those are just a couple things I would do. They're not iron and concrete. They're just things that come to my head. So I will mark that question here, and I will come back to it probably at a later date. Agree or disagree, Braun Strowman could be this generation's Hulk Hogan if they book him right and didn't script him. I disagree because Braun Strowman, I think he wouldn't be a white meat babyface like Hulk Hogan was. He would be more of a tweener. I think the way they're booking him now is good, but the problem is the second the audience really starts responding to him and the second the audience starts getting behind him, they put the brakes on him because Roman Reigns, because Roman Reigns is just Vince McMahon's guy, and that's not going to change unless he gets injured or something. And hell, even if he does get injured, 6 months from now, Vince McMahon's hard on for him is going to return once he gets better, and come back and push him to the moon again. The problem here, and yes, Roman Reigns and him have good matches. The problem is they're pushing the wrong guy. Should GFW just close down and be done with it already? Yes. I said that, the fact one, and I'll agree with Jeff Edwards here. Once Billy Corgan got out of the picture, that was it for them. So yes, just be gone with it. I don't like the way they booked Trevor Lee. I don't like the way they're booking guys like Caleb Connolly. Hell, Caleb Connolly showed back up on TV about a year after they signed his ass. He barely even was on TV, if at all. I think he had 2 matches on TV before he started into this little feud with Trevor Lee. I will say the angles that they're doing in GFW right now are not all that bad. This thing they got going with the American Top Team and the MMA versus pro wrestling deal, I like it. I like it a lot. Would you consider doing a CWF fantasy booking video? Ooh. I've been tempted to. I've been tempted to a lot, but the problem is that I don't want to insult anybody in that promotion, namely Mr. Brad Stutz and Mr. Grant Sawyer, who book it. I just feel like it would be an insult to them if I did something like that. Now, however, on the after show, I would do this differently. Like I've said many a times, with the way that they're booking Kane Justice right now, I'm not sure if I agree with it. But I see why they're doing it, if that makes any sense. Do I agree with it? No, because he has the potential to be their Kurt Angle. He has the potential to be pushed to the moon. The problem is he's so young in the business. Now, along with Kurt Angle, he wasn't in the business very long either. He wasn't in the business maybe a year before they pushed his ass to the moon. So I always equate Kane Justice to a Kurt Angle. Other than that, the booking, there are people that I would take out. There are people that I would feature more prominently. I don't think since she lost to Priscilla Kelly a few weeks back, Sis has not been seen in that arena, and it kind of pisses me off that Sis has not been seen in that arena or on that TV at all. So I'm kind of curious to see if they're going to bring her back or not. I'm hoping the interview that we did with her here on the channel did not influence that booking in any way, because she did say a lot of things to her character and the way she likes her character to be portrayed a little bit. But yeah, I cannot I just can't bring myself. Booking's hard. Hell, I can't play Extreme. I know I'm dating myself here, but I like the Extreme Warfare Revenge video game, and I can't play that game for no more than 15, 20 minutes at a time without steam coming out of my head. It just fries my damn brain. So for somebody like Brad Stutz and for Grant Sawyer and everybody involved with those decisions to have to do this for real? Wow. If you were a pro wrestler, would you no sell the Young Bucks or just refuse to work with them? I wouldn't. This is a loaded question for me. Would I sell or no sell them? First off, I'm a professional. If I'm going to be a pro wrestler, I'm going to be professional no matter who they put me in the ring with the exception of one guy, and that's Joey Ryan, because I would refuse to be booked on any show that he's booked on. Young Bucks are a completely different side of things. Would I sell for them? Yeah. Would I work with them? Yeah. Would I be happy about it? No. Would I voice my thing saying, hey, excuse me, would I work with them? Yeah. But am I going to work with them under protest? Yeah. But I'm a professional through and through. If I'm going to be a pro wrestler, professional. You act like a professional. The only guy that does not fall into that caveat with me, in my opinion, if I'm a pro wrestler, if I was in the business, which I'm not, would be Joey Ryan. And as a fan, I'm not going to watch any show or give any money to any promotion that books him. There's a Wrestle Circus show next week that is going on. The show's free on Twitch. I like Wrestle Circus. The problem is they have Joey Ryan booked on their next show, so I will not be watching. I won't tune in to the whole show. And yes, it's a case where one bad apple spoils the bunch. Now the only thing where I think that would not be the case for me is CWF, because I'm sorry, if they book him, the second that sucker comes out, I'm walking outside until I hear the bell ring for the end of the match, and then I'll come back in, take my seat, and that's it. That's how it should be, done in my opinion. Nobody should be giving that motherfucker any support, in my opinion. He's a horror. His gimmick is horrible. What he's doing is horrible. It makes an even bigger mockery. I'd rather sit through a Young Bucks match than a Joey Ryan match. Let's see here. Have you been following WWE 2K18 coverage? What are your thoughts on it? What's been revealed? I like what's been revealed so far. I don't know how many people are going to be getting the most premium package, which lets you play 3 or 4 days early. Is that a good way to sell a platinum version of the game or gold version of the game, whatever the case may be? Yes, it's a good way of selling it. I said that when it came out. As far as what the roster looks good, Jimmy Jam Garvin is in this, for crying out loud. How can you go wrong when you have Jimmy Jam Garvin in the game? Come on. What's been revealed is good. I like the way they're doing the reveals for the roster. And I like some of the features that are going into it this year. It looks like it's going to be a whole new game. My only problem with this is that they still, to this day, ever since SmackDown on the PS1, they still have not gotten to where they can make human hair on a pro wrestler look real. Which is sad for video games. Because you look at other stuff that 2K18, Take-Two Interactive, okay, you look at Take-Two Interactive, who owns 2K. Take-Two Interactive also owns Rockstar Games. Therefore, you look at the beauty that are in Rockstar Games. Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming out here soon, but they know how to create hair. So it's not like they, don't know how to do hair. And, I don't know what the deal is. Triple H's hair back when they have long hair. Now, I'll even use Seth Rollins' hair now. It looks stringy. It glitches out of control. Like his hair will be flying one way when it's supposed to be flying another. I've seen it to where people get the hair stick straight up. I've seen glitches, and this is just last year. There's no excuse for it. Favorite game in the Metal Gear series: Metal Gear Solid 1 for the PS1. Better Metal Gear Solid ending theme song: Best Is Yet to Come. I like Best Is Yet to Come. At this point, would you rather Konami make a remake of one of the older games, make a new Metal Gear with an entirely new character, the boss or whatever, or just end the saga completely? Well, here's the problem. End the saga completely, because without Hideo Kojima, what's the point? I mean, Hideo Kojima, if you try to make a Metal Gear game and it doesn't have Hideo Kojima's footprint on it, it's going to suck. Hell, the only reason why Metal Gear Solid 5 doesn't suck completely is because Hideo Kojima worked on it. Let me see here. Over under on Metal Gear Survive being a complete failure. It's going to be a complete failure. It's already a failure in my book. Do you have any plans on getting to 100% completion on GTA 5? No. Why? I hate the fucking flight school. Honest thoughts on Horizon Zero Dawn. Would you recommend it? I would recommend it. The problem is that I have so much other stuff going on right now that I have not been able to go back to it since the release. A month after it got released, the Nintendo Switch came out, and I was really heavy playing Zelda Breath of the Wild. Now I'm back playing GTA 5. I'm even playing online a little bit. There's other games that I've been playing. Obviously, you see the baseball game has interested me. I'll get back to it at some point. The Witcher 3 looks really good, too. I'm starting a Let's Play of that here soon after the GTA 5 Let's Play is completely uploaded. So Horizon Zero Dawn, I will get to it, and I do recommend it. You ended up trading Final Fantasy 15. What did they do right, and what did they do wrong with the game? I like the game. The reason why I traded it in was because I needed the money. And it had one of the highest trade-in values of GameStop at the time I traded it in. I would highly recommend it. I'm looking forward to rebuying it soon and finishing it. Arkham City, Asylum, Origins, or Night, which is my favorite. Asylum. Why? It's the first game I ever 100%ed all the way through of modern games. In a perfect world, what game would you buy next if it wasn't an issue? Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Looks amazing. After that, obviously 2K18. Are you worried about the It remake being a flop or Star Wars The Last Jedi? What are you worried? What are you more worried about? It remake being a flop or Star Wars The Last Jedi? The It remake's not a flop. Every review I've seen for it so far has been phenomenal. The Star Wars The Last Jedi, not going to be a flop. I've heard good things about that too, so neither one of them are going to be a flop. Let me see here. What are your feelings on the new Porgs in Star Wars 8, positive or negative? I have no idea what the Porg is. I have to research that because I've been so busy here lately the last few months with other things for the channel, like the CWF show and other things I have in the works. I haven't been able to catch up on Star Wars 8 to see what the Porgs are, what the storylines are, what the new spoilers are. So I'll get back to you on that one. Would you be fine with a heel Luke Skywalker turn? Would you be fine with a heel Luke turn or pissed off? Under what circumstances do you think you'd be okay with it? I'm a heel guy, so if Luke wanted to turn, I'm all for it. I think it'd be awesome. I think it'd be a chance for if you look back at that original trilogy, Luke Skywalker, even in the last movie, even in Episode 8 when he's all in black and everything, he's still a whiny little bitch in most cases. So I'd like the chance for them to expand on him a little bit. As far as heel or babyface, I'd like to see what's been going on with him from Episode 4 or 6 onward is what I'd like to see. What is your theory on the identity of Supreme Leader Snoke being Darth Plagueis, a character from the comics, or someone brand new? I think it's Darth Plagueis. It fits. It just fits so well with what they've told. If you go back and watch Episode 3, when they're telling the tale of Darth Plagueis, they don't say whether he's alive or dead. So, have you talked to King Firehawk since the passing of Rick? Is there still... No, I have not talked to King Firehawk. King Firehawk did express his sympathies. Is there still heat between the two of you? I don't hold heat against him at all. What are some best pieces of advice Rick gave you about broadcasting that you feel comfortable sharing on the air? Just the professionalism of it. Just, Rick wasn't the most professional at the times, but he did prove here on the channel, if you go back and watch, when he wanted to, he could be serious. So I think that's the thing don't act like just some big Johnny come lately with a mic. Act like you've been doing it. That's the big thing that I took away from him, and just the technology aspect of it. What is some of your own advice you give someone if they wanted to get into the internet radio business? Right now, don't. The market's too flooded. Who would be your dream interview guest on From Pillow to Post? Vince McMahon. Favorite country songs? Anything Garth Brooks has ever done. What is wrong with country music today? Garth Brooks is not doing it. Are you related to D. Ray White? Don't know who that is. Let me go back to the country music thing today. It turned into hip-hop with a banjo. Hate it. Have you enjoyed this season of NASCAR? It has been underwhelming or boring. I've enjoyed it immensely. I mean, in fact, I got the Southern 500 on right now. There's a big... Oh, man, did that... Let's turn this up here. Car spinning out. They're doing it Darlington, the throwback weekend. Let me see. Is this Kyle Larson right here, Chase Elliott right here? Oh, okay, good. He got through. I've been really enjoying this season. I've been enjoying my boy Martin Truex Jr. I've been not so much enjoying Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s last season. NASCAR this year with the stage racing, it has definitely improved. I like listening to the NASCAR radio on Sirius XM and listening to the different, back and forth that they go through. I've enjoyed this season immensely. I know I haven't talked about it as much, but I've enjoyed seeing Martin Truex Jr. kick ass. In fact, he won stage one of the Southern 500 here. So it's going to be awesome. Man, they're coming to pit road again. Are they going to have enough tires to make it through this race? Let me see here. Who steps up as the face of NASCAR now that Martin Truex Jr., I think, steps up in a big way as the face of NASCAR now. As far as is he the face that the fans will get behind? No. But I don't know if NASCAR will have a quote-unquote face of NASCAR now. We know you pretty much dislike the National Football League. What about the National Basketball Association? Hate it too. It's boring. Do you have a favorite team? I haven't watched the NBA since Jordan retired. Michael Jordan and those Chicago Bulls that he was with will always be my favorite team. If I had to pick one. But I used to watch football when I was a kid, and it just became boring to me. The NBA, too. It's about who's making what, and who's screwing who, and who's doing what outside of the game. We can't never just talk about just the game anymore. With all the concussion scares, would you let your son, if he wanted to play a sport in high school, would you let him? Yes, I would. Problem is he doesn't. My son is weird in that he does not like to leave the house. He's a video game junkie. He doesn't maybe it's his ADD and his ODD, but if you pull him out in front of his video games or in front of his TV, he goes ballistic. He hates going to the grocery store with me. He wants to stay at home. I've mentioned putting him in a sport, and I think that would be good for him as far as getting in touch with other kids and playing with other kids. He doesn't want to do it, and I'm not going to force him to do it. I'm not going to be one of those, sports parents. It's just not in me. What do you want to see in the next season of The Walking Dead? Do we realistically see Alpha appear next season or much further down the line? Much further down the line. Next season, I think that old man Rick thing at the end of the trailer is just a cock tease. I really do. Next season, I think we get all-out war. We got the March to War. Now we're going to get all-out war. And it's going to be really good. My hope is no more bottle episodes. Now, with the no more bottle episodes, I'm hoping we also get more character development with the other characters. I talk to people all the time who've now switched to watching Game of Thrones. And the problem that they have is, at least with female fans, is I got to see Daryl and Rick in every episode or I don't like it. That's the common thread among female fans. And even men are the same way. If Daryl and Rick ain't on there, we don't want to watch it. Well, newsflash, it's not the Daryl and Rick show. Robert Kirkman has even came out and said, in writing the comic books, Rick is not going to survive the comic books. The comic books will go on without him. Rick is going to die at some point. Daryl is going to die at some point. Golly, people slamming doors up there. What have you been watching in the meantime with The Walking Dead out of season? What are you looking forward to starting to watch soon? I've been catching up on The Defenders dropped. I watched Orange is the New Black. I've been watching all kinds of crazy crap on TV. But yeah, Orange is the New Black, The Defenders was really good. I actually just I just finished that up last night. As far as what I'm looking forward to, Flash, Arrow, Legends of Tomorrow coming up, Walking Dead obviously coming back. There's a lot of stuff out there here. Let me see here. I think I'm going to get to all these here. We're approaching 30 minutes. What would you like to see them do with Glow Season 2 and going forward? More wrestling. I'd like to see more wrestling, and I'd like to see them get into the behind-the-scenes aspect a little bit more. Season 1 was perfect. I loved Season 1. What is your favorite cut of steak? Ribeye. Tomahawk ribeye at that. What steakhouses do you like going to the most that they might have in my state? Well, they don't have one. The one that you have in your state is probably generic, like Outback and all that, which are good. But there's a restaurant down here called Trips. They have a bone-in ribeye that does not need any steak sauce, does not need any salt, pepper. It's the only steak that I can currently go and order right now that I can eat directly off the bone with nothing added to it. Most people consider a millennial or born between 1982 and 97, aren't you? The problem is I wasn't raised like a millennial. Millennials today, and I know this because I'm sitting here, okay. Damn, Denny Hamlin's leading. Shit. So like most millennials nowadays, like at least if you're right now between the ages of 7 and 17 today, so it's a 10-year gap. That 10-year gap. Most kids nowadays have this sense of entitlement. Like they're entitled to everything. Like the world has to bend over and kiss their ass. Um, when I was a kid, yes, I'm a millennial, but I wasn't raised by one. I knew better than to ask my mom for money. There's not a day that goes by where my might as well be stepson is not asking my girlfriend for money. I need this, I need that, I need that, I need that. If I, you know, first off, my mom would have looked at me and says, "You don't need this, you want it, and you're not old enough for your wants not to hurt you." And it's just the way I was raised. I was not raised like a millennial. If we were going to the grocery store, I got told before we even get out of the car, don't touch nothing, don't ask for nothing. And if I did, I got my ass beat right there in the store. So, um, you know, my mom didn't have money to spend on us. I wore Walmart clothes going up. I didn't wear shit from the mall. I didn't, I didn't grow up with an sense of entitlement like these kids do today. It's horrible to me. Let me see. Are you older than 35? I'm 32. So I'm at that age where I'm technically, I'm at that in-between gap. Let me see here. What was the big announcement you were teasing about a week ago about networking? Is that real? Is that still in the works, or has it been aborted? It's still in the works. There's a big interview going to be hitting the channel. Aside from the one that I was talking about at the beginning of this video, there is an interview that it's going to be going on with the channel. It is music business related, and it is not done by me. I'll just say that. I have a little bit of a hand in it, as in I produced it and asked about 2 questions during the whole interview, but the interview is done by someone else, and it's really good. I think you guys will enjoy it. It involves it's 70s/80s metal band that I think you guys would really like here. What is going to be the real big announcement, or a Dixie Carter level? What was that going to be a real big announcement, or a Dixie Carter level? It's still a big announcement. What are your plans going forward as a solo show now that 1650 is defunct? Pretty much what you see on the channel now. I'm going to continue doing Let's Plays. I want to get a schedule started. Monday being Raw, Tuesday maybe being SmackDown or something else. Because I don't watch SmackDown each and every week. I know I should because it is the better show, but I can't. And Wednesday is obviously CWF Day. Thursdays down the road may be reserved for something else, depending, and that relates to that big announcement. And then Fridays maybe Q&A day, and then Saturdays and Sundays. Yes, I know this is going up on a Sunday, but Sundays I'm taking the weekends off. My plan going forward is the same that it's always been with this channel. My plan is to never have to work another fucking real job a day in my life and do YouTube for a living. Yes, I know that's pretty much impossible, and you have to be damn lucky to do it, but there are people out there that do it. Sadly, YouTube is not paying the bills right now, so I have to get a job, and I have to work at a fucking call center until the YouTube thing kicks off, and it may never kick off the way I want it to. That's just a chance you take in doing it. But I'm going to try. I think it is worth a try. So, that's going to wrap it up for this edition of Q&A. I did about 30 minutes here. Thank you, Bobby, for those questions. You can follow me on Twitter at JoePillowToPost. And if you have any questions, just tweet or DM them to me. Once you follow me, I can follow you back, and you can DM those questions to me. Or just leave a comment under this video asking your questions, and I'll get to them in the next Q&A video. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow night for the Monday Night Raw review show right here on From Pillow to Post.